Greetings. Today is Thursday, October 31st, 2013, and I'm standing in front of the building called City Hall in South Georgia. This is the same building that had an 1860 Valdosta City Charter displayed in 2004. The mayor, then John Freddy, and the council members reluctantly had this disgraceful charter removed. That charter read, and I'll quote, that the mayor and council shall pass all proper and necessary laws and ordinances for the control of slaves and free persons of color, and to control, suppress, and abate all nuisances arriving from hogs, dogs, horses, and other livestock ran at large in the city of Valdosta, Georgia. As a retired military veteran of 21 years, that disgraceful charter was a slap in the face for every active duty, disabled veteran, and retired military veteran to ever come into Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and the United States of America. Not only black folk, but to white as well. And so I asked that that charter be removed, and finally it was removed, but not without a fight. Some whites saw absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I'm here today to bear witness. As I have said many times since I retired here in 1991. I got here in 1989 on a humanitarian because my father was sick in Thompson County, Georgia. Leaving all that aside, I want to use that as a black backdrop. Today, I bear witness to you. If, following the death of Kendrick Johnson, if that family had not stood their ground, if Kenneth and Jackie had not stood and say we want justice when they were denied the very right to go see and ID their own child. And now I have found out that many parents that have loved ones to die here in Valdosta and Lowndes County are not permitted to ID their own child's body. And this is a disgrace. Regardless of what the law may be, it seems to me that that is the last respect a loved one could do, and the government officials could do, is to let a black, white, Japanese, German, Latino, or alien ID the child that they produce in God's word. Now, if, let me say it again, if the family had not stood their ground, if Victor Blackwell of CNN had not come into Valdosta along with his team and investigated and published what our Valdosta Daily Times and local South Georgia news media would not publish. If he had not come, if the Honorable Al Sharpton had not come, and if Edward Dubose, if others had not come, it would have just been another Earl Evans burned up in a police car in Quitman because he was dating a white woman and nothing happened. It would have been like Ed Denson and the Wootons drowned in Brooks County. Nothing was done about it. It would have been like Willie James Williams that died and 2,500 people marched on the Lowndes County jail and nothing was done about it. It would have been like the 105 violations that the Honorable Judge Hugh Lawson ruled from the Middle District of Georgia and nothing was done about it. It would have been like the lynchings back in 1918, May to be exact, wherein Mary Turner, a black woman, had her baby ripped from her abdomen after 8 months of pregnancy, only for the baby to fall on the ground and the foot to be mashed and crushed to death by a white mob member's boot, and nothing was done about it. It would be much like Cetner Johnson, the injustice to happen to him right down the street here near Harrington's funeral home. Shot, castrated, tied behind a pickup truck, and dragged all the way out to Marvin, the old campground. And so now I get back on point. I say this not out of anger. I say this because Jesus said, "And ye shall know the truth, America." Do you not know that if the Johnson family had not stood their ground, you would have never seen the front page of the Valdosta Daily Times looking like this? Now you can call me a liar, you can call George Foster Rhymes a complainer, but I speak the truth from the living God, and you cannot refute nothing that I've said. You can't do it to save your life. You cannot deny the truth that I'm speaking. You can't say I'm a liar about Willie James Williams, because I talked to his daughter. I talked to his children. They have received no justice. You can't say I'm lying about Earl Evans, the Densons, the Wootons, the Week of Terror, the Turner family who met in Hayhira with a 105 vehicle motorcade that left Hayhira and went to Folsom Bridge, where they murdered that black pregnant woman and nothing was done about it. That wasn't even published in the Valdosta Daily Times. And so we must understand, America, if we say that we are a nation of laws, then we got to be better than dirty draws and show America and the world that we live and that we mean what we say and what we write on paper. Now, if you are asking me, why am I speaking the way that I'm doing, and why have I been doing it for such a long time? It is because I could have died in Vietnam. People that I did not know, the Vietnamese hadn't done nothing to me. Yet I served during that era in Kuwait, in Panama, in other places. I could have been killed fighting for the rights of others. So many veterans are here in Valdosta-Lowndes County in the state of Georgia, but they refuse to stand up for the pain and the suffering that I have seen in this place. And it all seemed to be hushed up, unreported. Nothing is done about it. It's like a clique, and those among the slicks, they don't report the black news. Don't take my word for it. Look at Boston G.B.R. channel. Google sewage coming up in a woman's kitchen in Quitman, Georgia, that the Quitman Free Press never reported. The rally that took place here in Valdosta was on page 4A of the Valdosta Daily Times, but front page in Jacksonville. The Quitman 10+2, a disgraceful, unpatriotic denial of blacks' constitutional rights in a dismissed court case against Lula Smart, one of the Quitman 10+2 that you don't know nothing about except what they put in this paper. And I'll assure you that it was not the beef of what took place in that courtroom. And so I have been crying out for a long time. But thank God for the courage. Thank God for the importunity of the Johnson family for standing strong. And I'm gonna say this. Can you imagine the Justice Department with Eric Holder under the first black African-American president taking so long to do whatever they are going to do? Look, Georgia Attorney General, he knows that Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia, are leading the state of Georgia in jail deaths. The Attorney General knows about it. Georgia Secretary of State know about it. Jack Kingston know about it. Sanford Bishop knows about it. And most every representative in the Georgia General Assembly knows that Valdosta and Lowndes County have more jail deaths than even Fulton County from 1994 to 2009, and from 2009 to 2013, they won't even report it. Black folk, the preachers, the deacons, the professional lawyers are going to sleep at the wheel while our children are filling the jails, the prisons, and death row. And we can't hear a damn thing about it from nobody. And so I thank God, although the preachers have not lined up for the most part behind these courageous men, all they want, all they ever asked for was that the truth be told. And there are those who don't want the truth to be told because they realize that what Jesus said would free the people, and therefore they don't want you free. And so they will not report the truth of the story. And so I heard on a conservative radio station and others criticizing CNN and Victor Blackwell for coming to Valdosta. But may I say to you this day, if there had been no CNN, if there had been no Victor Blackwell, if there had been no rallies, if there had been no Kendrick Johnson, if there had been no investigators, if there had been no attorney like C.B. King and Attorney Crompton, you would have never, let me repeat, you would have never seen this on the front page of the Valdosta Daily Times. Kendrick Johnson would just been another black man dead. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. The black folk in Valdosta and Lowndes County had better wake up. I want you to know something else, black folk. Don't you be hating on white folk. White folk got more courage, many of them, than our black preachers. Oh yeah, some white right people got more courage, got more love for you than your own black religious leaders, whether they be Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindu, or you. And so don't blame white folk. White folks have stood up for black folk when black folk would not stand up for themselves. Good white right people have stood up for us before we knew what the fight was all about. And so I'm going to continue to say, because I love this nation, we had better wake up. We had better wake up. The young black boys are not like the older black people. They don't live in fear. They have no jobs. They have no hope. They have no faith in the justice system. They have no faith in law enforcement. So they only have one hope, and that is to die fighting. And when they start their movement, they can't call the black preachers, because the young folk don't listen to the religious leaders, and they don't listen to the politicians because they've lied to them for too long. Now, why am I talking like this? I'm saying this because I think Valdosta is a good place to live. I believe that Lowndes County is ideally located. It's just people in positions of power who don't want to see change here. Do you not know we home to Moody Air Force Base, Valdosta State University, and a lot of other historic, promising organizations and businesses? But until Valdosta move into the 21st century, we're going to continue to have a 1860 charter mentality to control, suppress, and abate all nuances arriving from hogs, dogs, horses, and other animals, not only against black folk, but against white folks as well. And so I'm not a Muslim, but I'm going to quote in closing what Elijah Muhammad said. And I think that America need to listen to these words. He said, America, beware of what you see happening on distant shores, because soon it will be knocking at your door. And so many of our young people, they don't have nothing to live for and everything to die for. They don't have no jobs. Go to Office Max and look at people that are employed. See how many black people do you see employed there. Go around to the restaurants here in Valdosta and Lowndes County and see how many black waitresses that you see employed, getting money. And black folk go and fill these places and spend their dollars, and these people won't even hire them. Now I'm gonna say to you, condemn me. Don't criticize me. Don't call me a racist. Don't call me a complainer. Disapprove me based on facts. And that you cannot do. Because the God I serve gave me many things, but he did not give me the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And so, if our children are not employed, if our children are not a part of the property owners downtown, if they don't get any of the street paving from the federal dollars that's coming in here, if Splash will splash in the Valdosta, but won't splash on the south side of Toon Street, Troop Street, and other streets, and Forest Streets, and if they can splash in here, but don't splash in the black community. Now I'm not talking about my community, because I live in a white community, but I'm talking about the south side. Now I'm living in a white community, but I'm still in poverty. I'm not rich. I miss a couple of payments, my house will be gone. So, I want to commend Kendrick Johnson and Jackie, the grandmother, the grandfather, Eddie Tooley, and others. I'm saying to you, C.B. King and Attorney Crump, we thank you so much for standing up not only for KJ, but for all these other injustices in the probation system. They tell us that they are rats in the jail big as cats. The Honorable Judge Hugh Lawson already know about it. Judge Hugh Lawson of the Middle District of Georgia, he ruled in June of 1997. He gave Lowndes County and the Sheriff Department 2 years to answer those complaints. And when I wrote to the District Attorney, David Miller, and when I wrote to Sarah Crow, the Clerk of the Court, and when I wrote to the Honorable Judge Hugh Lawson, they said nothing. It is as if though, nobody needs or care about the black man and woman and their children until they need us to fight these damn wars. When our war is right here in the homeland. Now you all can condemn me for what I'm speaking, but look, I'm gonna give you an open invitation. Boston G.B.R. at gmail.com. Email me and we can sit down behind the camera and you can disapprove anything that this man have said. But I'm here to tell you, because I am at least of average intelligence, you can't disapprove or call me a lie on anything that I've said. I'm going to add one more. On May the 8th, 2010, I have documented proof that an individual from the Lowndes County Jail wrote the Honorable Judge Turner and the Clerk of the Court about a taser death in medical at the jail. I have said that to Sheriff Prine at least 3 times. Once at the Democratic headquarters right down here on Patterson Street. He was gonna get back with me, like he said he was gonna get back by my unjust criminal trespass warning. I'm 161 days now being restricted from all properties of Lowndes County school system, not because I violated any law, but because of following the KJ death, somebody chose to put that restriction on me. And so it stands as of this day. So I'm privileged to be following the road of Jesus the Messiah and those who work so hard to make America a better place to live, not only for black folk, but for every person that comes here in Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia. I am George Boston Rhymes. I do what I do because I know, and I'm 100% sure, that in the end, truth, justice, and right will win in the end. Once again, I'm looking for Eric Holder and the good people of America to help save this nation. I talk like I do because I want to save Valdosta. I want to save Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and the United States of America. Just remember, Bible tells us that heaven and earth would pass away, but my word would stand forever. This is the Ghetto Free Press, doing what we do simply because we are acting out of love and not hate. But there are others who are full of hate and they want revenge. I want peace. I want to see some love. I want harmony. And above all, I want to see God's word to be a real reflection of his son, Jesus Christ. I don't want to duplicate. I don't want to imitate. And I don't want to placate Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, or any other. I just want to do the will of my God. Peace be unto you. Bye-bye. God.